Hello viewers, welcome to EduHub Tutorials. In this tutorial we shall be doing a revision on IGCSE, ICT, and this revision is for the candidates that will be writing their examination in May-June 2022. However, we have picked for this revision a sample question from May-June 2016, and in this particular section we shall be dealing with document production of paper 2. That's one of the practical papers. Paper 3 is also practical, but is for data analysis and web authoring. So without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, here is the question that we shall be dealing with, and as you can see here, the first section of the paper 2 is about document production, and this is of course May-June 2016, and the category of the question is 2-1. So we might also be solving 2-2 if time permits, because of too many videos that are on the way. So of course, before you answer any question in your standard IGCSE examination, it's important to take note of the instructions. So you take your time over the instructions and you make sure that you comply accordingly. Okay, that being said, let's get over to the question itself. Alright, you work for a company called Tawara Adventures. You are going to perform some clerical task for this company. Task 1 is about evidence document. Open the file J216 evidence.rtf. Now, I would like to say something at this point. If you are familiar with the ways of answering questions in the IGCSE ICT, then it's important that you know, of course, you must be provided with the source files. The source files are the files you shall be working on, maybe either developing the source files or trying to recreate something out of the source file. So I have my source file ready for me, and I am going to check the folder that I've set my source file to know whether I can find a regular file like this. So I have my folder here, and I am looking for this in particular, J212 evidence RTF. So J216 evidence, and of course the type is RTF. So I am going to open it without wasting much time, and this is going to be the beginning of my task ahead. So while I wait for it to open, I would ask that if you don't have this kind of source file, you can go straight away to the internet and Google May-June 2016 paper 2. Then you should be able to get all the questions as well as the accompanying source files. So I'm going to open mine in no short time. Sorry, my system is a little bit slow because of too many programs running. we are almost here. Okay, while it has opened, I'll get straight here. Make sure that your name, center number, and candidate's number will appear on every page of this document. Save this document in your work area as this, followed by your candidate's number, which is this. So for me, I am going to save mine exactly as this, but for you, you have to take note of your candidate's number. So your candidate number should be the last 4 digits. You should replace the last 4 digits here in your own case. But of course, for me, I'm going to just choose this. All right. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is to actually enter my name, the center number, and of course, candidate's number. I would choose dummy data for myself. So dummy name, dummy center number, and candidate's number. Also dummy, I will choose 9999 as my candidate's number. Okay, now this is my document. So I will go over to the header. You can go to the insert menu and of course insert header before you can be able to type in whatever you want to type in. I could have just done this by double clicking just very close to this portion of the page, then it can still lead me there. Sorry, my system is something else. It's somehow slow, so I'm going to work on it for subsequent lessons. I think a lot of things are involved here. Okay, now there are about 3 things I need to enter. So let's just consult my name, center number, and of course candidate's number should appear in all the pages. So for this to appear in all the pages, they should be included in the header. So here, my name is going to be John Doe for the purpose of this. So, and of course, my center number should be 0417. So you use your regular center number. And my candidate number is 9999. Alright, then I'm done. I'm going to close my header. Okay, now what am I going to save as? I am going to save it as this. Okay, so I will just copy this. For you, you make sure you save yours as J216 evidence, then your real candidate's number. So it depends on the question you're working on. So whatever question that might comes up, you should be able to figure out how to take care of it. Okay, so I'm going to save this in my work area. I have created a folder for my work area, and I'm going to save it just right there. And okay, this is my work area. And now before we go on, you've been recommended to save this document in your work area. Followed by this, you will need this evidence to store a screenshot of the evidence you are instructed to produce. What I will advise is that you should always make sure that you save this as Word document. Okay, so you can save this as Word document and you can proceed from there. So having done that, while it's saving, I will go over to the next task, which is document itself. You are going to edit a newsletter for Tawara Adventures. The company uses a corporate house style for all their documents. Paragraph styles should be created and applied as instructed. All imported data should have the news body text style applied unless otherwise instructed. Question 1. Using a suitable software package, of course in this case I'll be using Microsoft Word, open the file J216 News Draft RTF. Okay, so this is the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to open this particular file, News Draft. So let me locate where it is. And News Draft is something here. So I'm going to just open it as a Word using a Microsoft Word document. Okay. So here it looks like this. We'll go over here and look at what I have here. Set the page size to A4, orientation to portrait. So I will do the two at a go. So how do I set the page size? I will go over to page layout and choose size. Okay. And afterwards I should of course change it to A4, and the portrait is the orientation. So I have done two things at a go. So page size as well as orientation. Now top and bottom margins should be set to 2.5 centimeters. Okay, so how do I figure this out? I will go over to this particular page setup button under the page layout menu, and of course you have to take note that top and bottom margin should be 2.5 and left and right should be 1.5. So top and bottom should be 2.5. So I'm going to write 2.5 centimeters for the top here, and bottom also 2.5. Okay. Now for the left and right should be 1.5, and right also should be 1.5. Okay, so do I have any other thing? I don't have any other thing. Okay, now the first evidence is to take a screenshot to show the page size. Place the size in your evidence document. So take a screenshot to show the page size. So I'm going to take a screenshot to show the page size, and let's see how we figure this out. Okay. Now this is paper. Okay. Still within that same menu, it's showing me the paper size, which is actually the page size. So I am using Lightshot. Lightshot is a particular software package that allows you to press the print screen button, and you can actually drag the area that you want to screenshot. So I will press my print screen button, and the light screen should be able to show me around the rest of the things I need to do. So I will do this right away in this manner, and of course copy this. Now where am I going to save this? First, before you escape this, make sure you click OK. So it's applied now, and I am going to make sure I save it in the correct place. So evidence 1. So I will go over to my evidence, and under evidence 1 I should paste what I have. Okay, so I should paste it here. Okay, so it's showing me this, and anytime you paste, you make sure you save, so you don't, especially if you're using a desktop computer, the light might go off. So to retain whatever you have written, is always recommended you save at every change or every modification that you make. So very important. Okay. Now evidence 2, take screenshots to show the margin settings. Place this in your evidence document. Okay. So I'm going over here again. How do I get my margin? I will go over to page layout menu and click on the setup button here to get my margins. Alright, so these are my margins. So I'm going to still press the print screen button and drag the area I want to screenshot. So copy and paste in your evidence tool. Okay. Okay. Now, as usual, make sure you save. Okay. Save the document in your work area with the file name newsletter. Alright. Make sure it is saved in the format of the software you are using. So this is where saving as Word document is highly recommended. So I am going to save this as Word again. So I will just copy this because that's what I intend to save it as. Isn't it newsletter? Okay. And I will go and save as in my work area. Remember the work area folder I created earlier. So I will go over there and make sure that I save it. And I will save it as Microsoft Word document. Okay. Evidence 3. Place in your evidence document a screenshot to show this file has been saved. Make sure there is evidence of the file type. Alright, so how do we show this? I'll go over here to my work area, and what I am interested in is in the last file that I saved, which is newsletter. So I'll go over there and locate the newsletter. As you can see, the newsletter, I've been instructed to make sure that the type is shown, but not everything is showing. So I need to enlarge this a bit until everything is showing like this. Okay. Then, as usual, I will press my print screen button, and Light Shot brings up the rest for me. Alright. So what I'm gonna do now is to make sure that I save this somewhere. And because I want to point to the particular file that I have I am working on, so I can actually use an arrow to do that. So copy and paste in your evidence tree. Okay, like that. Now make sure you always save, and we go over to the next question. Place in the header your name, center number, and candidate number left aligned. Okay, I think everything is left aligned for this same document. Alright, then automated page numbers right aligned. Okay, so I have two alignments, left and right aligned. For the header, place this in your header, and I have two alignments in my header, left and right. So what I'm going to do quickly, I will go over here and, as usual, insert my header. Okay, using I'm going to make use of I think I'm going to use just a default, like a blank one. Okay, like this. And remember, my name is John Doe, your name, center number, and candidate number. John Doe. John Doe. Everything should be left aligned. Then my center number is 0417, so you should use your own center number, and candidate number is this. So take note of this. This is where the alignment begins for the left aligned, and this is the left align, center alignment, and of course the right alignment should be at this point. So you have to drag this up to this triangle, and it gives you your right alignment. Always make sure you get this right. So each time you tap, you press the tab key, it takes you to the next alignment, which is the center. Press it yet again, it takes you to the last one, which is the right align. Very important. Okay, now let's consult our instruction, automated page numbers right aligned. So we have to make sure that we include this right aligned. How do we include this? So while we're here in the design menu that pops up, the design menu is a kind of menu that is always triggered whenever you are on the header or on the footer. So this particular menu doesn't just come anytime, just like any other regular menu, but comes when you have something going on in the header or footer. So in this header, I am going to select my page numbering, and the page numbering is going to be at the current position because I have pointed out that. So I'm just going to click on this like plain number. So you can use your discretion, but it's not necessary to design this. So I'll just use plain number, and like so it has appeared on the current position. Okay. Now place in the footer the automated file name and path center aligned. So we have to go to the footer again to do the same thing. So we scroll down a bit and we get to the footer. Okay, now as you can see, the footer has left alignment, everything okay, center alignment okay, but this is not okay, although this is not what we need. Alright, but again, anytime you press the tab, it takes you to the next alignment, which is the center alignment, and we have been instructed to place automated file name or path center align. So that is why I have positioned it to be at the center alignment. Okay, now for us to do this, still in the design menu, we go over to document info and select file path. File path should give us the name just like it has been recommended. Place in the footer automated file name and path center align. So the file name and path have been included. The path shows the directory where the file name is coming from, where it is saved. As you can see, this shows where my file has been saved, and because my file is saved here, I am going to have something like this. I didn't type this because I selected document info and then file path. It gives me all the information that I need. Okay, so having done this, everything looks okay at this point, so they should appear in all pages. Is very, very important. Okay, both whatever that is in the footer and whatever that's in the header should appear in all pages, and you have automated page numbering here, so you don't need to input any page numbering on your own. Everything is done automatically. Okay, make sure all the alignments match the page margins. That's exactly what I showed you about alignment. So especially the right alignment, where I had to actually position something of this nature, this inverted L to the right tab. Okay, so that is how should take care of this particular instruction. No other text is included in the header and footer area, so you must not include any other text except the ones you've been asked to include. Headers and footers are displayed on all pages. Of course, we just went through that. Okay, so now before we continue, it's always important you save your file anytime you make any kind of modification. Just do that as often as possible. Alright, now we are going to create the following paragraph styles, beginning with this. Okay, so what I would advocate is that anytime you are creating a new style, it's always important to look for the last portion of your page. Okay, this is the last portion of my page. I will just use enter key. Okay, now enter key gives me another paragraph. Okay, so why am I doing this? I do not want any style I'm creating to affect my current position of my cursor. So anywhere you place your cursor, you create a style at that point, and afterwards it automatically applies the style to that particular paragraph where your cursor is placed. So it's always ideal that you come to the last page, then you use the enter key to create a new paragraph, then you can start creating all your styles. However, it is important that after you're done creating your styles, you should make sure that you take the cursor back to where it should be. So you have to use the backspace like this to take it back. So, but for now, because I want to create my style, I'm going to leave it to occupy the next paragraph, which has empty contents. So very, very important. Okay, now the first style we are going to create is this style name, which is the new title. Okay, I will copy this, and the font style is sans serif. Font size is 26, center align, bold, single, space before and space after all zeros. So let me just quickly show you around this. Okay, now having placed my cursor here and I'm still on the home menu. Okay, you go over to styles group and click on this particular button. Now this button displays the style organizer here, and there are three buttons here, like the new style, the style inspector, and of course the manage style. So I'm interested in creating new style, so I'm going to just click new style, and name, I'll paste what the name should be. Alright, and do the rest of the things here, which are sans serif. What is sans serif? Sans serif means all the fonts that have no strokes. So like Arial, Calibri are all sans serif. They have no strokes. So it's always important you can use either Arial or Calibri, and when for sans serif, and for serif you use Times New Roman. Always do that to avoid any form of confusion. So now font size is going to be 26, and my font style will be sans serif, which is Arial. So here Arial already, and font size should be 26. Okay, alright, so what should be the next thing? It is center align, and it is bold. So I'll make sure my alignment is center, and of course enhancement is bold. Alright, so I will go over to the next one I have, which is single line spacing, and space before and space after is 0. Okay, now single line spacing, how am I going to actually accomplish this? Okay, now you go over here to your format and you click on paragraph to get the other things that you need. Alright, now the line spacing here is single, and spacing before and spacing after should be 0. So it is maintained, and I'm going to just leave it like that. Okay, so I'll click OK. As you can see, everything is just revolving within this particular paragraph. It's not affecting the previous paragraph, the immediate previous paragraph. So now I will continue with the next one, which is news subtitle, and I will just simply copy this. You have to just copy at all time to make sure that you are accurate. So you copy the names just to get everything right. So again, it's sans serif, but at this time it's 16. Okay, so I am going to work it out. It's going to be another new one again, and the name should be this. Okay, it's sans serif, that is area, and this time around is 16. Okay, and what again do I have here? Okay, alignment is right align, and enhancement is italics. Okay, this is right alignment, and it is not bold, it should be italics too. Okay, so what's the next one that I have here is single line spacing and 0, 0. So again, format, paragraph, single line spacing here, and 0 and 0. So everything is okay. Make sure that everything is okay. So everything is okay now, and we click OK. Right, good. Now again, before I continue with the next one, take it back to normal, then you can now continue. Okay, so I will continue and copy this again, copy, and again it's sans serif 16, center, bold, underline. Okay, sans serif 16. Okay, the name is this 16, center, bold, underline. Am I right? Yes. And single line spacing 0 before and 12 after. So I will click and go to paragraph, single line spacing 0 before and 12 after. Okay, so okay. All right, now while it's here, you take it back to normal just to maintain the default font before you start styling again. So we take it back to normal, and we go over here again to check the next thing we have, which is the news body. Okay, the news body is going to be serif. So as I told you, always use Times New Roman as your serif, and the font size is 12. Okay, so serif, what is it again? Is body, and the serif, which is Times New Roman, and the size is 12, justified. So this is justified, and this is 12, and what again? No enhancement, it is single line spacing 0, 12. No enhancement, as you can see, no bold, italics, and underline, and single line spacing 0, 12. So 0, 12 and single line spacing. Okay, we take it back again to normal, and we proceed with the next one, which is Newstable. Okay, we go and create new, paste the value and check the necessary things. It should be serif 12 left aligned, serif is Times New Roman 12 left aligned, correct. What is the next one? No enhancement, single 00. 00 and single. Okay. Alright. Placing your evidence document screenshots to show all the settings for the news subheading style. So for this particular news subheading style, we should be able to display everything that captures whatever style that is here. So how do we do this? We go over here and news subheading. I hope it's news subheading. News subheading. Right click and modify. Now what are the styles? We have font is 16. It is bold, underline, centered, space after is 12. Is that what we have? Yes. So all the styles that have been applied are actually there, showcased. So showing this. So there's no point doing any other thing. Or if you like, you can actually show double of this. Okay, so you can still show things like this and it can still work for you. So this is clear enough. So print screen and you highlight. So this should be your evidence 4. I will save. Okay. At the start of the document, enter the title of this. So just copy this. You don't have to actually type because you don't have enough time to do all this. Then before you continue, remember after creating the styles, we should take this back. Before we take it back, make sure that this is in normal, then you take it back and you should always save. Alright, at the beginning of your document, that is before we have to, we have to create a new paragraph and take this back to this point, our cursor, and paste what we have copied. So having pasted what we've copied, what should be the next thing? Apply the title, news title style to this. So you don't actually need to highlight everything. What you need to do is to place your cursor close to the line or to the text you want to format, so it will do that paragraph wise. So news title, I click, and of course it automatically formats this. Okay. Below the title, add the subtitle, first draft by, and your name. So I'm going to copy this, first draft, just below this. So below this, I will take this back to normal before pasting. Always do that. Drafted by, then my name for the purpose of this lesson is John Doe. Okay, and what should I do next? Apply the new subtitle style. to this. So I will look for subtitle, and this is subtitle. While my cursor is there, I just need to click subtitle, and it applies this for me. Alright, now apply the news body style to the rest of the document. So what does it mean by the rest of the document? From this point downwards, so we technically need to highlight. So up to this point, I should select news body, and it applies this for me. Okay. Now change the page layout so that all the text after the first paragraph is in 2 columns of equal width. Okay. Change the page layout so that all the text after the first paragraph is in 2 columns of equal width with this. Okay, now where is the first paragraph? The first paragraph should not include so technically this should be my first paragraph here. So the text after the first paragraph, all the text after the first paragraph should be of page layout, that's double columns. Okay, so I should create more columns, and I will make sure it's 2. Okay, in this case, but the space between is 1.5. So make sure you add a space of 1.5 space in here. Okay, so and apply to what text should I apply? I should apply to selected text. Okay, so and it goes on like that, and let's see what happens. Okay, it's cute. Alright, now let's continue. Identify the 7 subheadings in the document and apply the new subheading style to each one. So we have 7 subheadings. So this is one of them. New subheadings, where new subheading. Okay, that's 1. We have another one, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, and finally we have 7. Okay, so as you can see, we only have 7, and you should always make sure you save. Alright, open the J216 newsports.csv and insert the content as a table within the column with after the text activities. So before I do this, I need to actually open this. Now, how are you going to open this? There are 2 ways. You either open with Microsoft Word, or you can just open a Microsoft Word application, and then from there you open the file. So this is the method I'm going to use for this purpose. I'm going to open a Microsoft Word document. I will just go to new. I will create a new Microsoft Word document and go over here, open. what's this all about? Okay, sports. Where is sports? Let's wait for it. Okay, now this is the file. Alright, and open this, and inside the contents as a table. Now I need to convert this as a table. I need to convert it to a table. So I will highlight everything and go to insert and go over to table and convert text to table. So I will take the default and just click OK. Okay, so now I have my table well planned out. Okay, I am going to locate activities to our centers. So where do I have the activities to our centers? Activities to our centers. So I'm going to just type before I do that, I'm just going to go over here and copy. I need to copy the table, and because of my instruction, I will find activities to our centers. So I will just use Ctrl F to find activities to our centers. Yeah, I think it's only one here, so below it should give me activities to our centers. Okay, good. Then I'll paste my table. The table is not looking like it should. I don't know why it has to be like that, but let me check again. Okay, well, let's see what happens next. Okay, delete the third column with the heading written from the table. Written, okay. So I'm going to delete this after all. Delete columns. Okay. I don't actually need this border. I think I need to do something about this border. So I need to do something about this. So it should be like this, technically. So delete the third column. I've done that. Make sure that the Newstable style is applied to column 2 and 3. So column 2 and 3. Let's see. This is column 2. Newstable style. Okay. And of course, there's also Newstable style. Alright. What's next? All borders and days are displayed when printed. Borders are also displayed there. Text in columns 2 and 3 displays on one line. Okay, so the text will have to be displayed on one line. How do I do this? I need to double click here. Okay, and of course text here are displayed on one line. So one line each, and everything fits nicely, and all borders and grid lines are displayed when printed. So as you can see, format the table so that the left column looks like this. Okay, so we need to format this table so the left column should look something like this. Now how do we do this? I'll go over here. Of course, I need to highlight from this cell down to this cell. Okay, when I am done highlighting, I will go over to layout to merge cells. So I have just merged cells, and the next thing I'm gonna do now is to change the text directions. As you can see, it's coming from the bottom to the top. So I'm going to just change the direction until it gives me something close here. It has given me something close to what I want. And if you notice very carefully, there is a kind of centralization. So between here and this point. Alright, so I'm going to apply that by making use of this this particular one. I think that's what meets the need, and I will enlarge this. Okay, I will enlarge it to be up to 14. Okay, and is it bordered? Yeah, I think it's bordered, so I will just embolden it, and I have some kind of shade here, which is closer hash. So I will add some kind of shade. So this is my shade under the home menu. So the shade should look something like this, if not something like this. I think it's okay like this. Yeah. So, and it's close to it, yeah. Okay, again I should save and continue with the next thing I'm going to do. Import the image J216 cabin.jpg and place this below the subheading accommodation. So where is the subheading accommodation? I will search accommodation. Okay, now just below accommodation. So I'm going to just use this like that, and what am I going to insert there? The image, what is it called? J212 cabin. Okay, and while it's inserting, what am I asked to do? To reflect the image so the tree is on the right like this. Okay, so let's see whether it's done and certain. Okay. You see, after accommodation, where is accommodation? Yeah. So immediately after accommodation, so I have done this now. What I'm going to do is to rotate this image. I have to flip it horizontally so that the tree will go to the right hand side. So as you can see in this case, I just succeeded in doing this. And the next thing I'm going to do is to resize the image so that it is 4 centimeters wide. Okay, the aspect ratio is maintained. So how am I going to maintain the aspect ratio? I will not touch the height, but I will rather touch the width. So the width is here. Okay, so I'll be reducing, and of course it should be able to give me what the accurate aspect ratio of for the height. So I'm working on the width, and I will give it 4. So automatically it takes the appropriate height, as you can see. So I will go over here, align the image to the top of the paragraph. Okay, starting self-catering accommodation, right margin within the column. Okay, so now let's see self-catering. Okay, now I should align it to come to the right. Okay, so what am I gonna do now? I'm going to use square for it, and once I use square for it, where is the image? It has gone somewhere else. Okay, self-catering, and I'm taking it down to, remember, I need to make sure that it's also within this particular paragraph. Okay, so if it was tight, yeah, I think the best you can do, yeah, is to make sure you get the alignment properly done, and you make it square anyways, so it's okay being square like so. And we have another one. Make sure the text wraps around the image, so it may look like this. Of course, that's how mine looks like now. The text should wrap around the image. Okay, so when you go over to format and you have the text should wrap around, so you have to make it a square, then you can just position it to make sure that everything is looking very nice. Okay. Change the list from free Wi-Fi to climbing wall to a bulleted list with square bullets. So I think I need to check this free Wi-Fi. So checking free Wi-Fi, I'll come here and type free Wi-Fi. So this is actually the list. This is the list. So up to this climbing, you highlight and you go over to paragraph and the list. Choose the box list, square bullets I meant to say, and you make sure the bullets are positioned 2.5 centimeters from the left margin, and the list is in single line spacing with no space before or after. Okay, so I'm going to check this out, single line spacing, and I have to just click this first and I get the option to take care of this left positioning, left margin positioning, which is 2.5 if I'm not mistaken. 2.5, so I should type 2.5 here. Okay, and of course I forgot to also make sure that there are no spacing before or after. So everything should be like this, as you can see. Alright. Okay. Now you save and the single line spacing. So of course I also made sure there was a single line spacing, as you can see here. Then you save the document, and boom, we are done with document production. So I'm going to save now, and we are done with document production. So thanks for watching this video. You make sure you subscribe for subsequent videos because you have more videos coming. And by the way, I should make out time to work on other questions, although I have a lot of things to do with videos, but just get in touch. If you have not signed in to your Google account, you have to do that before you can be able to subscribe, and click on the notification button to get to know when something comes up, because a lot will be coming too. Okay, so in the meantime, have a nice time, and you make sure you practice. If you have any question, feel free to send in the comment box, then I will have to reply. Have a nice time.